Your new life is going to cost you your old one. Let me say that again. Your new life will cost your old one. Do you get that? If you are consistently doing the same thing, right? We've all heard this. You do the same thing over and over and expect change. That's insanity. If you think that you can get away with doing a bunch of your old habits, with hanging out with a bunch of your old friends that don't have the same vision as you, that don't have the same wants as you, that have the vices that you're trying to let go of, how do you think that you're going to get to the next stage of life that you want to get to? I was just talking with one of my guys the other day, and he went out. He went out with a group of friends that he used to hang out with. He doesn't want his old life. He wants to be exceptional. He wants to achieve massive results in life. But these old friends, they go out, they party every weekend. The only way you can catch up is going out and spending out a late night, drinking, boozing, doing whatever. Those people, they trade tomorrow's happiness for tonight. They trade tomorrow's energy for tonight's energy. If you're looking to get ahead, you understand that you need to be efficient. You understand that you need to instill new habits. You understand that you must change. And if nothing changes, then nothing changes. How does that not make sense to anybody? How does that not make sense to you? It should. I hope it just did. Your old life, your new life is going to cost you your old one. I can't tell you the countless, numerous successful people that I've been blessed to be around, to meet, to have discussions with, to be my mentors, that have all said the same thing. They've cut off a lot of who they used to hang out with. They've cut off a lot of who they used to be. They've cut off a lot of what they used to do. See, you can't change anything if you don't change your thoughts and actions. Period. If you change your thoughts and actions, you change your habits. And a man is simply his habits. And if a man is simply his habits and you're stuck with all these old habits, these habits that drain you the next day, these habits that take you away from your purpose, these habits that are consistently pleasure-seeking, if you have these, if you cleave to these, where do you think you're going to go? You're not going to go far. You have to drop the weight vest where you stand. And instead of walking, you need to start sprinting. You need to drop the weight vest where you stand. Again, nothing changes if nothing changes. Me? Am I where I want to be? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But it's always constantly an uphill battle. And we always want to get further. I want to get further. I want to do a lot more than I have done. But am I where I used to be? Absolutely not. But you have to start somewhere. I had to start somewhere. My life has drastically changed in the past 2 years. Drastically. Last year I had the best year of my life. I had the most income of my life. I had the most positive change ever in my life. If I went down the list of people that I had to let go, that I had to stop talking to, that I had to stop being around, even family, it doesn't just constitute towards friends. Sometimes you got to let family go. Sometimes family, unfortunately, are those that are going to hold you back the most. And it's not always a malicious thing or them wanting the worst for you. Sometimes they do want the best for you, and it is out of love. They want you to be safe. Safety to me isn't a 401k. Safety to me isn't a retirement fund. I don't plan to retire. I plan to do something I love for the rest of my life that brings me abundance, that helps people, that changes the world. I don't want to be just another name on a tombstone. And that's not selfish to say if you're one of those people that feels like that's the direction you're headed in. It's not selfish to think like that. It's not ungrateful to think like that. If you want more for yourself, if you want better for your life, good. Your conscience is calling you to be something better. Why aren't you answering that? Your conscience, what truly speaks to you, not that bitch voice in your head that tells you to do the drugs, the drink, the partying, the putting off till tomorrow. Why do today what you can do tomorrow? That's not your conscience. Your conscience is what tells you to wake up early in the morning. Your conscience is what tells you to do what you might not want to do, but you know you should do. That's your conscience. That's the voice of the universe. That's God trying to talk to you. And if you don't listen to it, you wake up with regret the next day. Why regret? You can't choose what you regret. I've gone over this before. Regret is your guideline. If you regret some shit you did the night before, you should probably listen to it, because you can't change how you feel about it. You either regret it or you don't. And if you do regret it, it's time to hack that out of your life. It's time to stop doing that action. It's time to change your actions. How do you change your actions? You change your thoughts. Stop being a stubborn, try not to swear on here, do not be stubborn. You can't get away with it. Whatever you think you can get away with, you can't get away with it. It will always catch up to you. You need to change it starting now. It was so hard for me to do. It was so hard for me to do. If you never experience any kind of stress, if you never experience any kind of rock in the boat, how do you know to course correct, right? How do you know? So when you guys are waking up with stress, anxiety, depression, if you guys are waking up with these feelings of misery, if you're not happy, if life is chaotic, you feel it's chaotic, it's going out of control, I don't have control over my life, then how would you ever know to take control? How would you ever know to stop what you're doing? So it's a good thing. You need to change that perspective. See, no matter what your perspective is on things, life is what it is. Reality doesn't change. But you can either look at it from a good light or a bad light. That's why perspective is everything. You have to change your perspective through your daily habits. That's why it always comes back to what a man does in his day. If you do not change your thoughts and therefore change your actions, which therefore changes your habits, then nothing will ever change. You will be stuck where you are for the rest of your life. Or you can decide to change now. It took me a lot of failures and a lot of misery to do that. Countless. And I didn't listen to my conscience for a long time. For almost a decade, I decided to F off, and I just flushed it down the toilet. I was inconsistent with the actions that I knew I wanted to do. I always fell back to my vices. Always. And I was in the same place. And things continued to sink around me. It was not until I decided and understood that I needed to drop my vices that were pulling me back. I had to. And a lot of you don't understand that you have to, because that's the first step to being able to change your habits. You need to start waking up early. You need to start putting yourself in solitude so that you can reflect. Because if you never have time for reflection, then How do we know what we have to change? You have to reflect, you have to talk to self, and you have to listen to your conscience. This is the first step to change. All of my guys that I coach, they always ask me, oh, what do I do? How do I do it? What's my problem? Your problem is you. Your problem is not your circumstances. You do not have a money problem. You do not have a situational problem. You have a problem taking away from yourself. You have a you problem, and you are the only thing that can change your you problem. So start there.